Greetings YouTube, DJ Bonebreaker coming at you for yet another Enshrouded builds showcase. This time I'm at my base in the Albaneve Summits, known as Eisenberg by Seidenfrost. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So this base is located right here in the Albaneve Summits. So this is the ancient spire and the Gateway Outpost Driffa, which is actually, if you follow the road that I'm on down this way, you'll eventually get there. And then there's the Balefire Garrison Rimrock to the northeast, and Balefire Garrison Silkfrost to southwest. And this is a prime location because there's like iron deposits all around the build area, including a particularly large one over here across this little valley here with the Fletcher marble quarries, which is a good source for marble. And then there's a below the Balefire Garrison Rimrock, there is a fairly large coal deposit, hence why this town is called Eisenberg or Iron Mountain, because there's a lot of iron. It's where I produce most of my iron and steel. There's also a Night Sanctum, which is actually the Night Sanctum where you find the Night Temple blocks and unlock that recipe. And there's also a level 35 gem forge like directly below the mountain here in the Shroud. And near the gem forge there's a silver deposit here, and there's another silver deposit here. And there's also amethyst over here in this amongst this iron deposit. So about the only resource that you can't find in large quantities nearby is obsidian, but it's not like you really use obsidian that much anyway. So this is basically my perfect base location. Oh, and there's also a level 35 or 33 shroud layer for getting arcane essence for upgrading your gems here. So yeah, it's generally a very good location overall for the Albaneve Summits. And as for the build itself, this upper gatehouse here was actually the last part of the build that I completed, because I wasn't sure how to make this gatehouse look good and fit in with everything and completely like defend this whole thing. But I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, because like I said, about the only way to get past this lower part of the gatehouse is to risk, you know, falling off like 100-foot sheer drop and trying to use like climbing tools while getting pelted with arrows and spells the whole time. And over here, the only way to get around that tower is by, again, trying to scale these vertical rock faces or nearly vertical rock faces, all while again coming under constant fire. And yeah, I decided to set a certain tone with the decor on the actual gate itself. Figure, you know, it's like, do you really want to mess with somebody who's killed enough of these extremely dangerous monsters to have this many iron trophies of them? Oh yeah, and 2 fell commander shields just hanging on their front gate? I don't think so. But anyways, let's go check the upper gatehouse and guard towers out here. This is also where the first of the 12 NPCs that are living in this village are located at. Yeah, the central tower in the gatehouse is actually, it does serve some defense, but it's also where Gabrielle Fairbane, who's one of the villager NPCs, lives. And I'll get to her proper tour of the rest of the tower and house. But first, start over at this furthest tower here and work our way back. But yeah, these arrow slits are fully functional. Yeah, there we go. Kind of hard to see where I'm aiming without the HUD. So we've got 3 floors of arrow slits here, and then come out to a flat castle type rooftop with, important part here, functional matriculations. So enemies who think they're safe, you know, trying to hide under the overhang here on the tower are in for a rather rude awakening. And these little shelters are built for the stairway to keep water from, you know, running down into the castle whenever it rains. And it does rain here quite a bit. Are based on some similar shelters that I've seen on real life castles that have been restored. And this here, like I said, this tower does have defensive use because it does have arrow slits and everything in it. But the top floor here is a residence for Gabrielle. So this is her little kitchen dining area. Mostly dining area really. And this is her bedroom and living area. Got a nice cushy couch here. And this is her bathroom. So a fairly comfy little living area on top of her tower here. And this is the walls again with more arrow slits. And this is the gatehouse with Gabrielle right here and functional murder holes. And these are pots of flaming pitch that are ready to be, you know, dumped in on any invaders that break through the outer gate and are trying to break through the inner gate. And this is the other gatehouse. It's fairly similar to the, or not gatehouse, the other tower. It's fairly similar to the first tower, but has less arrow slits due to it being partially embedded in the mountain that's built up against. But still, it's got the flat open roof with the crenellations and matriculations and all that. Yeah, that's another resource that's near the village. There's several places where you can find the night blooming plants in the Albaneve Summits and farm those. So that is the gatehouse. Well, the upper gatehouse, I should say. And our dutiful guard, Gabrielle Fairbane. Yeah, before I move along too much further, I wanted to keep as much of the original vegetation in areas that I wasn't actually going to be building in as possible, but I also wanted a bit more densely densely forested, I guess is the word. So I planted some extra pine trees and other trees up here. Got this hazelnut shrub here and another hazelnut shrub a bit further down for, you know, crop purposes. I'm hoping next update they add chocolate so we can combine it with the hazelnuts and make Nutella, but I digress. So yeah, this is the main road heading down in, and we come to our first structure. This building here is a traditional Black Forest farmhouse. I looked at pictures of various original, real life historical Black Forest farmhouses before finally attempting to build this one, and I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. And yes, I'm using some of the ceramic pots for chimney pots on the chimneys. But you know, this little side path here goes to the brick kiln for the carpenter and the side entrance of the carpenter's workhouse. Specifically, this is where Braelyn, Hawthorne, and Fenrig, the other farmer, live. Yeah, also, interesting note about Black Forest farmhouses is that they're basically a combination of a living space, workshops, and barns. So, if you're going through this entrance here, this is basically the place where they store all the farm vehicles and farm implements, like this big janky plow right here, and hay. So you got a pile of hay bales over here, some more hay bales over here, some barrels full of what I'm guessing is probably beer for Fenrig's pub, and the seed tables for, you know, crafting seedlings for planting. And then across this hallway here from the like carriage shed and hayloft is Braelyn's carpentry shop. And that's the side entrance that I showed you earlier. So she's got her workshop over here with her workbench and table saw. And this is where I store all my terrain, overgrowth, building blocks, and excess furniture that I don't have a current use for. And this over here is where like all the carpentry related blocks are, like stone, wood, sticks, and empty flower pots. And so yeah, Braelyn's like has this display case showing off her carpentry skills as well as all the various fossils she's collected on her travels. And I'm pretty pleased with how this particular thing turned out. This is supposed to be a cockle oven or masonry stove that you traditionally find in these Black Forest farmhouses. And I figured, you know, wanted some kind of like closed stove, because having an open fire in a woodworking shop is a very, very, very bad idea. But I also wanted this to, like, you know, interface with the chimney that comes up, you know, the one that has a chimney pot on it that I showed you from the roof view. So I decided to build this around the stove, and I think it turned out pretty good. And this door here is, well, Braelyn has a balcony for her workshop. And I've seen a number of real Black Forest farmhouses that have, like, you know, these, like a smaller balcony and then like a larger balcony immediately below the roof like this. And this door over here is the second floor bathroom. So it's a pretty decent sized bathroom, all in all. And I'm gonna go head upstairs first. But yeah, this is the top part of the house. And over on this side is Braelyn's bedroom. She's got her bed, some more fossils on display, and various books and stuff for journals from her travels. And the upper balcony here, which it took a while to figure out how to make this thing look right, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out in the end. So that's Braelyn's room. And then this is the upstairs bathroom. Yeah, I figured why not have two bathrooms in the house. And this side of the hallway is Fenrig's bedroom, where he has like his seed almanac over here, small fireplace, and bit of a living area here, and looks like his dogs managed to get stuck behind the flower pots again. I'll fix that later after I'm done recording this. But yeah, that's Fenrig's the room right here. And then on the ground floor here, we've got the Matron's Head Pub and Restaurant, which is run by Fenrig the farmer, as you no doubt can tell from these garden gnomes, because, you know, Fenrig loves his gnomes.
Hello.
So yeah, here's Fenrig here, and the matron heads that give the pub its name. So they got like storage cabinets for all the cooking ingredients here, and kitchen sink. Big old cook stove that I made. I use this general pattern for most of my cooking ovens in my main settlements that have like a farmer, or that I use for more than just like fast travel points. Yeah, I got a grinding wheel for making flour. Of course, I got the bar counter here with bar stools. And pretty pleased with how the decor of this little pub turned out, all in all. And this is where I store like cooked meals and seedlings for planting crops. And then through this door here is the barn section where the critters live. As you can see, we've got in the barn here, we've got 2 yaks and, okay, where's our other fader at? I think somebody's gotten lost again. I'll figure out where the other fader is after this. Probably somehow glitched outside the pasture here and is now can't get back in, but whatever. So yeah, this is where the feed dishes are for the fader and the yaks. Watering trough over here and a well over here. And then this little goat shed here was actually a pre-existing structure when I found this place. So I decided to renovate it, and where the heck are my goats at? Guess I'll have to hunt down the goats too once I finish recording. But regardless, so yeah, this is the goat shed, and they're supposed. Oh, looks like the goat's gotten stuck. Yeah, animal pathing still has issues, but this is where the goats are supposed to be sleeping. And then over here, in preparation for the Wake of the Water update, I dug out this area here to put in a farm pond where I'm also going to be putting some fish in. Oh hey, it's daylight. Yep, so there's one of the goats somehow got stuck here. I don't know where the other one is. Like I said, I'll go looking for him after I'm done recording, because this video is going to be long enough as is without, you know, trying to track down errant animals. And then over here is the farm field where I grow crops when I'm at this area. Right now I'm growing a mass quantity of sugar cane because I need some honey. So yeah, so that's the Black Forest farmhouse. Oh yeah, and over here is a beehive in this little like area in front of the lower entrance here, which is also where most of the people go to enter the pub through this door right here. Immediately next to the Black Forest farmhouse along the main street here is Galen Yaeger's Hunter Lodge. So I'll do a quick tour of the outside real quick to give you a good view. Got the tanning station set up here. Little narrow pass between this cliff here. And this is the entrance to his hunter and leather working and what do you call it? Textile supply shop. So we've got various, you know, again, iron trophies on the wall because, you know, obviously he is a hunter and he does craft all those. And that's the door takes you out back to where the tanning station is. And this is the workshop where we've got the loom, dyeing station, drying rack, and spinning machine located at. And this is his bathroom, which also serves as like a bathroom for customers whenever they're in. Got some of the ranger type armor on display as well down here. And then up here is Galen's living area. He's got this like balcony area here. We've got stove and a little kitchenette. And then back through here is his bedroom. So yeah, that's Galen's Hunter's Lodge right here. And this is where I store like all the cloth, plant fiber, yarn, you know, any furs, anything relating to like hunter crafts are stored in these magic boxes here. And I'm pretty happy with how this whole like main street, like boulevard here through the center of town turned out. I decided to kind of incorporate the flame altar in this thing and have like a tree-lined road. This tree here is actually an original tree from when I first built this, started building this thing here. So I wanted to preserve it, so it's got its own little like area here in the middle of the street. And let's see. I guess I'll go this side of town first and then go to the other side. But this here is the blacksmith shop where Rochelle Anders and I'm trying to remember his name now. Let's see, villagers. Oh yeah, Robert Gibson, who, because his outfit looks kind of like a worker's outfit, so I have him as like the apprentice blacksmith, and she's like the master blacksmith here. But yeah, this here is like the main like big industrial entrance into the forge and foundry area here. We've got like a big old hoist here for lifting heavy stuff into wagons, and here's Rochelle, of course. Got the charcoal oven here, smelter, workbench with the blacksmith tools, blast furnace, and forge over here. And then through this doorway right here is the storefront with Robert manning the storefront counter. We got various, armor and weapons on display, and shields. Can't forget the shields. So this is like the storefront where customers come in and buy pre-made stuff. And this is where I keep all my metal, furnace fuel, like coal and charcoal, metal scraps in this box here, metal plates, and like various extra smithing tools like forge bellows and stuff like that in this box down there. And then through here is Rochelle's office, where she negotiates like bigger contracts with high-paying customers. Nice cozy setting in here. And this is kind of like a foyer coming out on this other part here, this where the street continues through the back part of town. And then up the stairway here is where Rochelle lives. So she's got her bathroom right here, kitchen area over here with her own like cook stove right here and everything. And this is her bedroom, where she's got extra set of clothes, some more weapons stuff on display, some other stuff on display, and her bed, of course. And then up in the attic area is where Robert, her apprentice, lives. So again, he's got like a kitchen living area right here underneath the roof. And then this is kind of like his sleeping area right here. And his bathroom over here. So that's the blacksmith shop. Actually, no, I want to go out the other door. Finish off this street. And then go over to the other street and work my way down there. So yeah, at the end of this road here, which basically just mainly services this farm here and this little cottage, this is where Kaori Conway lives. I basically have her as like, she's supposed to be like, helping the work the farm here, so she's like a farmhand. And there's Kaori herself. And she's got like a little like living area here, kitchen over here in her cottage, and then upstairs is her sleeping area and bathroom. Very cozy, not a very huge place, but decent little cottage for an NPC. And yes, as you can't tell already, it rains a lot in this town. So at the end of the this like boulevard here is one of the key features in the first structure I built in the town, which is the Wizard Tower. where Lady LeClair, the alchemist, Hugo Vanderhall, the student mage, and myself live. It also is like a magic potion shop, magic weapons shop, magic armor shop, and general alchemy shop, I guess I should say, and mage school, among other things. So, oh, and also, if anybody's from Southern Germany thinks the overall shape of this thing looks familiar, it's because I based this off of Burg Oflings in Wangen im Allgäu in Baden-Württemberg, Germany. So this is actually based on a real castle. Granted, I took some artistic liberties and stuff, but overall it is fairly identical in terms of number of floors, footprint, and everything. Even the real castle even has like a shed type structure on the side, like this one does. And yes, that is an iron dragon head mounted on the front of it. So here's Lady LeClair running the magic shop. As you can see, we've got various wands and staves on display, as well as like the mage school uniforms for like staff and students, as well as like various other like alchemical tools for sale and such. And these boxes where I keep all my alchemical ingredients and even more alchemical Enshrouded based ingredients. Got some potions on display as well. Got the alchemical laboratory back here for crafting alchemical stuff, and another workbench for preparing my tools. And down this way is something I just recently added after I originally built it. But this is where the treasury for the town is going to go. Right now this vault is empty, but once the new update comes out and I can get some of the new gold coin terrain, I'm going to be putting a heap of that stuff in here and then Scrooge McDucking it. Actually, I don't think you're going to actually be able to swim in the gold, but oh well. And this is where I keep like all my consumables, like potions, skull summoning vessels, and stuff like that. I keep extra weapons in this chest here. And these two chests I have like extra armor and gems and gem essences for upgrading gems that haven't, found a weapon worthy of slotting them into yet. Then up here on the second floor of the castle is the magic theory classroom. So you see you've got the lectern for the teachers with the alchemical and magical treatise on the chalkboard here, as it were, and seats for students. Of course, you got that one student who's always going to be propping the book up and taking a quick nap behind the book, so it looks like he's trying to make it look like he's paying attention. And then this floor here is the library where Hugo likes to hang out. And this garderobe has been turned into like a study nook right here. And this is where one of the bathrooms is for students to use. So that way they don't have to go all the way up to the top floor in the residential section of the tower if they gotta go. But yeah, I've got all of our books and stuff in here, including some more questionable books. But yeah, that's the library. And then this here is the practical laboratory. So you see you got all the lab equipment for students to use here at the two tables, including cauldrons for them, as well as like crystal balls for practical study. And this Vuka shrine for additional practical study, and a balcony here for the students to hang out on. It's a nice view of the town here. Also makes a convenient point for me to launch my glider from for doing distance travel. And oh yeah, I put my ectoplasm press here. Even though I don't really use a lot of the stuff that it produces, I figured it'd be good to have an extra one here just in case. And then up here is coming into the residential section of the tower. Yeah, right now these two chests here are purely decorative because I figured this would be a good place to have like a hall storage closet area. But this here is the main living area, and the cat is somewhere around here. I think it might be stuck behind the chair upstairs in the dorm area, but I digress. So yeah, I got a nice big old fireplace here. This is where the headmistress, aka Lady LeClair, and students and traveling like Flameborn dine at this table here. Got the kitchen and food prep area over here. And again, I based the layout of this off of some of the things I've seen in like traditional German Stube, I believe is the proper word. And the bathroom is back through here. And then all the way up at the top on the 6th floor is the student dormitory and headmistress's bedroom. I am really pleased with how these big round windows turned out. I was at first trying to figure out how to do windows for this upper floor area here, and after messing around, I finally was inspired to try using the Hobbit door frames and, like, you know, 4 of the large round windows, and it just chef's kiss. But yeah, these are various beds for students. As you can see, they got their student uniforms, you know, extra set of them by the end of their beds. This is the bed I use with my alternate outfit, the princess dress, and this is Hugo's bed right here. So yeah, this is the student dormitory, and this is Lady LeClair's bedroom where she's got her, like, you know, extra staff uniform in bed and all that. And a nice window with an amazing view of the ancient spire and the valley over there. So that is the wizard / alchemical tower. Actually, let me check something here real quick. And yep, the cat's stuck behind the chair again. So yeah, anyways, moving right along. Oops, don't want to bump into her. So yeah, alright. This here is supposed to be like a shrine dedicated to St. George, the Dragon Slayer. So this is supposed to be statue St. George with the cross over here. And part of the reason being is, well, don't know if you're going to be able to see it from here, but if you look over that direction is the Howling Peak, where, you know, certain scaly fiend happens to be hanging out. And next to the shrine is a small church for the townspeople. I made the cross on the top of the belfry there out of 4 of the stone fence posts. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with how this little church turned out. So inside here, it's a fairly plain provincial village church. We've got, you know, rows of pews with some hymnals, you know, set on the seats for the parishioners to use. And then we've got the altar with the Bible, unleavened bread, and sacramental wine for doing communion. And then back here is the steeple with the bell. I made the bell by hanging a upside down bucket from a chain. Simple, but I think it serves a purpose. You know, it looks like what it's supposed to be. And like I said, that's the side of the blacksmith's house here. This house right here is where Mei-Yin Chen, the Lunar New Year's trader, lives. Let's see if I can get a good view of the backside of the house. Not really, but yeah. This one was a bit of a challenge because I wanted to build at least one structure that used what they call the fancy stone block, or as it's called in real life, there's similar technique where they use like plaster over like rough stonework, where it's called the German schmear technique. So I wanted to have a building that was made using that, and due to like this wainscoting appearing anytime that the structure meets like other structural blocks on a horizontal plane, like these steps here, it produces like this wainscoting. So I had to get a bit creative, like made this like little front porch area here to kind of like, you know, shelter the wainscoting that appeared on the outside here with these front steps. But yeah, this is where our Lunar New Year / Oriental trader is. So I tried to make it look like some of these shops I've seen in various Chinatowns, where the outside was like, you know, obviously Western style construction, but the inside leaned heavily into like decorations of like Chinese or Japanese, like, you know, themes. So we've got the Lunar New Year, was it the, I forget what it's called, like, but it's the Lunar New Year's armor. So I decided to use this one to have, because it looks very similar to like a crane stance in martial arts pose. And then I've used like various, as well as like the Lunar New Year's weapons, I also use like other weapons that look like Chinese or Japanese weapons that you'd find. Like these daggers look kind of like sai. And this staff here and this staff here look kind of like the Japanese man catchers that were used to apprehend criminals. Of course, I have plenty of the Chinese lilies here in the shop. And then this is the side entrance that empties out in this alley. And I've been using the field stones for these like side roads and paths. They're supposed to be paved with cobblestones, but not like, you know, fancy cobblestones like the main road is. And even though it doesn't give you the road buff, I think it works quite well as a road surface type terrain. But yeah, I got the stairway up here to the second floor. Now on this floor is May's kitchen and dining area here, and her bathroom, which put some of these like, you know, Chinese style partitions to very good use here to like make it like a little separate shower area here. And then up here on the top floor is the bedroom and living area. So this is May's bed right here, I believe. I have this bed in case they add any extra NPCs to the game. They're like, you know, generic like villager type NPCs, so I can accommodate like at least one of them here. And then I created like one of those folding portable like room dividers like you see in like Japan and China, by taking like 3 of those partitions and placing them so it looked like they're partially unfolded here. And of course got nice big old soft comfy couch here. So that is the Lunar New Year trader's house. And then directly across the street is the second to last structure that I built in this town. Oops. Street light got in the way. But this is Elio Ricci's barbershop, as you can see by the one actual sign we have in the game. Like, I tried to make it so that you could tell what the different shops were by using like either paintings or like these Oriental paper lanterns, or in the case of the blacksmith shop here, I put a weapon rack with a big hork and hammer over the front door. Oh, hey, there's the missing fader. Anyways, but no, we actually get a actual sign for the barber shop. But I digress. So this is Elio's house. This one was a tight fit, what with the proximity to the cliff here, but I managed to squeeze the structure in without, you know, clipping into the side of the cliff or anything like that, or getting too close to the lower gatehouse wall here. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. So let's check it out. I also like how the let's try that again. Yeah, I also really like how the desert roof tile looked for this roof. And also, I originally had like the tarred shingle roof block tiles on the Hunter's Lodge, but I decided to replace them with the desert roof tiles as well. So yeah, let's go check what this place out looks like on the inside. Yeah. So this is where I store all my dyes that I get or make until I need them for dyeing clothes. But this is the waiting area for the barber shop. Of course, got like various like hairstyle dummies, which are how you unlock the new hairstyles, which obviously I have one of them down here. And I based this like barber area here off of like real styling salons I've been to. It's got a big mirror over here, small mirror over here, sink for like, you know, getting your hair shampooed over here, various, you know, beauty products, and of course Elio's here. I'm also really pleased with how this fancy fireplace turned out. I just basically built it out of the desert temple block and then put a clay fireplace inside of it. And I think it just looks absolutely marvelous. But yeah, this here is a bathroom. This is for customer use. Basically, back in the, at least in the late 19th century, a lot of barber shops would have like, you know, a place where you could like, you know, pay a small fee and take a bath and get cleaned up, and then, you know, get your shave and haircut done afterwards. Such services were mentioned in the book Captains Courageous by, I believe it was Robert Louis Stevenson. Don't quote me on that though. I have to look up who wrote that book again. But yeah, I distinctly remember from when I read that book when I was a kid. It's been like about 20, 30 years since I read it though. But yeah, anyways, upstairs here we've got like a little reading nook for Elio over here, with a big comfy chair, and then this is his bedroom. And yes, he would be extra enough to have this fancy Oriental door for his bedroom upstairs. So we've got his bed, vanity here, because, you know, he's got to stay fabulous, and additional, like, you know, hairstyling dummy to keep in practice at night, and little like kitchenette area where he's got some, you know, milk and fruit set out for eating. And this is his personal bathroom right through here. So that is Elio Ricci, the barber's house right here. And now last but definitely not least is the lower gatehouse area. This was actually the first of the two gatehouses that I built, being that it was the easiest one to figure out how to get everything placed. And as you can see, kind of hard to see with the weather, but there's the Balefire Garrison Silk Frost down there. And the boundary for the settlement is right here. This is a max size flame altar, but this here is the lower gatehouse, and that's where Gunther Galeforce has his dwelling in the top of this tower over here, and he's manning this lower gatehouse. But yeah, I actually, to get a level building area for building the rest of the town, I filled in that whole area with dirt, And you can see the difference in elevation between, this is the original road right here. And this is how high up the village is filled. Basically, I stopped where these two like natural like rock formations were, formed like perfect choke point, and then made it so that, you know, anybody's coming up from the Balefire garrison have to go up this switchback, which is would be under constant fire from the guard towers here if they wanted to attack the town of Eisenberg from the lower area. And then through here is the tower that serves as Gunther's living area. Speaking of which, here's Gunther manning this arrow slits here by the gate. And again, defensive up to here, where we've got Gunther's living area here with his kitchen table and what have you. His bedroom over here, and his somewhat more Spartan bathroom than what what's her face Gabrielle had. But yeah, this is the top floor of the tower on this side, and then going through to the other side here is, oh, this is Gatehouse with again functional murder holes, and this defensive tower here, which actually goes down a floor because this adds some additional arrow slits for defending the road coming up through, because like enemies are coming up these switchbacks, will be getting pelted by arrows from this side, and then we getting pelted by arrows from that side. And it goes up for like to here, and didn't need to build a shelter because this tower here is partially embedded in this mountain here, so you got this doorway that leads into the underground part of the tower. And again, we've got crenellations and functional matriculations. So I'm going to give a quick like walking tour of the town at night. But this is basically the entire town of Eisenberg by Seidenfrost. It took me about 7 months of building off and on to get this entire thing finished. And I'm really pleased with how it turned out. But yeah, let's start from the path coming up from the Balefire garrison. Give a bit of a nighttime walking tour because this village looks awesome at night. So yeah, a lonely traveler coming up from, you know, escaping the spiders in the Balefire garrison silk frost, come up to this gatehouse here. Go through the outer gate and the inner gate. And then you've got this shining town here up on the mountainside. The church and the blacksmith shop and the wizard tower with the wizard school, which unlike a certain other wizard school that I can think of that's you know, in a repurposed castle, we don't discriminate against who can attend and who can't, because we ain't a bunch of, you know, like, you know, bigots. But I digress. And then yeah, this street, the main street here, with the Hunter's Lodge and the Black Forest Farmhouse, and these statues in my way. And then follow the road up through the town, past the farmhouse's upper entrance. Yeah, and they often built those farmhouses into banks like that too, for this exact purpose. And then you come to the upper gatehouse here. With its not so subtle warning about, you know, what fate befalls those who try to force their way into this town with less than friendly intentions. But yeah, that's the entirety of Eisenberg by Seidenfrost. I hope you all enjoyed the video and were maybe inspired by it. And until next time, this is DJ Bonebreaker, signing off.